Hello and welcome back to La Rochelle, where we are now getting ready to prepare for our departure to Alicante. So, let's, I think there is a way to do, because this is X-Enviro. No, let's not mess around with it. We'll come back to it in a minute. So let's load up our charts and get the ones that we need for our departure. So we don't need the arrival, we don't need star, but we do need our chart, so we'll keep that open there. Right, turnaround state. So engine master 1 and 2, check they're off. Yes they are, brake fans can definitely come off now. Engine mode selector is normal. Parking brake is set. Thrust levers are idle. Ecam recall. No worries there. Anti-skid check on. Emergency lights, make sure they're armed. Yes they are. No smokings are still auto. Engine bleeds packs all set. Yes. Blower extracts cabin fans. Yes. Fuel pumps auto. And the ideas, we are still aligned as we are in a turnaround, so that's fine. Cockpit prep check complete. Now I just need to load up my charts here. And what departure has it given us? So we've got the Bolero for Echo departure. So Bolero for Echo. Let's have a look at this departure. So we are departing from runway 9, so we're going to go in the opposite direction to where we come. And Bolero for Echo, so we're going to go ahead and at 1580 we'll make our right turn heading 211 down to Bolero and out to Royan. So that's our departure, quite a nice simple departure. So we're going to taxi out, backtrack down the runway, turn around and blast off out there. That's the plan. Okie dokie, right, let's program the box. Get that up. Get that up. Oh, you can come over here. You can go to plan mode, so we'll get you like that. We'll get that over there. So we're going from LFBH to LEAL, Alicante. Flight number easy 995. Cost index of, let's see what we've got, 5. Flight level of 370. Is that right? Yes, 370. Let's just check that on the winds page. Yeah, we are 370. Perfect. Right. Flight plan. Departing. Runway 9. Bolero for Echo. Insert. Can't get much more simple than that. I will just very annoyingly do that. What's the master caution for brakes? They're definitely not hot. I'll put the brake fan on though anyway. blasting off of runway 9 and almost an immediate turn up with flight level 1580, turn right and down to Alero. Easy peasy. Okay, from Alero we are then going to Alpha 25 and Royan. And then direct to CNA. That one. From CNA we're going via UN 863 come on, get in there, there we go. UN 863 to AGN, via UN 860 to Aneto, then direct to Posse, SSY, and then direct to, I can't even pronounce that, XIMPE, then direct to right, and then one more airway, UN 860 to VLC. There we are. Right, our arrival is going to be the VLC 3 Lima, ILS 10 via Vilna. What other approaches have we got here? We can try something different. Yeah. So, VLC 3 Lima, and it's the ILS Zulu. Lima, and via Vilna. Let's try Vilna 1. Have a look at that. See if that looks like my flight plan. No, it does not. Let's try Vilna 2. That looks more accurate. Yes, that's the one, Vilna 2 then. Then intercept there, Charlie India 10 Zulu. Okay, flight pan looking good. Put this back to Arc 10 for now. Get rid of those charts. Next thing, loads. Don't know why I got rid of that, still need that up. Very laggy this is. Okay, so we are 0 fuel weight 55816. So let's dump some cargo here. 55817, can't get much better than that, although I stupidly didn't put the fuel in first. So fuel, we need basically 70 fuel. So refuel that, and then 55817. There we go. Right, so 7 tons of fuel and 55817 of the zero fuel weight, which gives us a takeoff weight of 62686. And that's 1F. Now, we may, well, it says flex on here, but you know what, we may add some. No, let's do what it says here. Okay, right. Zero fuel weight CG is 33.9. 55.8. Block of 70. Sets. Performance 143. 150. 153. Flaps 1. Do you know what? Let's do flaps 2 for out here. Let's do flaps 2. It is short. 1. Oh, 4. Oh, weather change. 152. 155. Flaps 2. Down 1.2. Flex 63. It's about as good as we're going to get there. Right. Brake fans definitely come off. I think that's just a little buggy bug. Okay, right. Chart down initial climb 1580. So we'll set 16 in here. And then we know once we hit there we want to make a turn. So let's have a read. Valero 4 Echo. Climb to 1580. Turn right 211. Track intercept. Romeo 36 inbound to Valero, then Royen. Romeo 346. Intercept BMC Romeo 346 inbound to Valero. Oh, no idea what that noise was. Oh, it's a Vatsim. That's at 11375. For sure want that in there. Course of well, that's 11465. Course of 211. So 114.65. The course of 211. For sure. And then we'll track Royan 11375. The course of that's not 190, is it? What is that? 166. Yeah. Clear that from there. Boom, looking good already. Goes down performance, that goes down flight plan. Get good. So yes, the one thing I wasn't sure was it didn't say anything about what the height to maintain. It's an 8.1% during the initial climb. Wow. Transition 5,000. Expect close-in obstacles. So here we go. Climb on 093. Track to 180. Then depart omnidirectional climbing to en route safety altitude. So that is 190 is our en route safety altitude. Okay, so this can go to climb to 190. Perfect. With it. That's why you got to read your charts. Okay, but we don't need pushback. We can start getting rid of some of this. Excuse me, just need a drink now. Okay, that's looking good. Okay, all windows and doors closed, checked. Slides. APU master. On. Flap open, start. As the hydraulic systems come alive, you should see the flight surfaces ping up. Or flight control surfaces rather. Probably come with the APU bleed. APU is available. APU bleed. On. Okay, external power can go to off. We can get rid of it there as well. Seatbelt signs to on. Levers idle, parking brake set. Barrow ref is 1015. And we will just quickly check on here. LFBH Meta 1015. Quickly file my flight plan. Okay, auto set, beacon on. Before start checklist, cockpit prep is complete, gear pins and covers removed. Signs on and auto it is. Our nav fuel quantity 7 required, 7 on board. Takeoff data is set. Barrow ref, don't know why they're armed, is 1015 set 1, 2, 3. Windows and doors closed, beacon is on. Thrust levers idle, parking brake set. Engine starts. Ignition. Good bleed. Number 1. These sounds, man, are so good. Oh, yes. There we go, engine 2 available. After start checklist. Flight flaps are going to 2 today for our departure off this incredibly short runway. Trim is down 1.2. Okay, set. Oh, these stupid flaps. Stay there. There's noise from my throttle body, annoyingly. There we go. Everything else set. So I'll start checklist. Anti-ice is off. Ecam status is checked. Normal. Pitch trim set. Rudder trim 0 set. I'll start checklist complete. Right, let's get taxiing, let's get out of here. Taxi lights on. Park brake off. Auto brakes max. Takeoff data reviewed. Autopilot system is set. TO config. Test cabin. Advise. Takeoff. No blue. Weather system on. Such nice scenery. Okay, well, we should probably just check that spy, just make sure there is nobody else even coming. Been so laggy. Right, nobody else coming in, so we will have a quick light up for departure. Strobes, auto, runway turn-offs, landing lights. Let's go backtrack. Take us to TARA. Let's get down, backtrack, turn around and out of here. So let's just refresh ourselves of our departure. Climb tracking 093 at 1,580 feet. Right turn heading 211. Intercept Alero. Track 166 down to Royan. And I've got this set up. Go away. On my rad nav page. I need 14465 to be a VOR1 set. And I'll bring this back to VOR2. harbour driving to the left here. Right, let's take some speed off for the turn. Okay. Full takeoff checklist, flight controls checked, flight instruments checked, briefing confirmed, flaps 2, takeoff data checked, transponder set, ECAM no blue, cabin secured for takeoff, engine mode selector, normal, TCAS TAR APAX on, nose forward on stick, 50%. Stable. Man, flex. SRS, auto thrust blue. Oh, this is going to be tight. Oh, not like that. Gear up. Okay, 1,580 feet is what we want, and then we make a right turn. There it is, right turn. Lever climb. One. Flap 0. Love this view. Okay, so once we get to Alero, we need to track 166 from Alero. And there's the VOR1. Okay, after takeoff checklist, runway nose off. Oh, there's windy. Go direct to Alero. Set. Transition. Oh, not that. That one. Standard. Okay, landing gear is up, flaps are retracted, packs are on, barrier ref is standard, after takeoff checklist complete. Wow, check out this weather. have a look from the passenger's point of view it is. Absolutely love this scenery though. Left wing rear. Weather seems to have stabilised out a bit. And that's all done. The next thing will be 10,000 feet. Let's just keep an eye on that. Where are we? Yeah, way past that. Landing lights off. And we are now off tracking here. I was correcting itself. Okay, that's fine. It's just because of the headwind that's now developed. That's fine. So just monitoring that, making sure we're all still going where it needs to be, which we are. Perfect. On our way to cruise. Once we pass flight level 240, I think there is still Euro control on. No, they're offline now. So our next frequency is Unicorn. Okay, that's on its way. That's up there. That's the... yeah, it's this one I like. A little less noisy on years. That's the one. Shame there's not a bit more cloud covering. It's nice to be able to see the ortho, but sometimes it's nice to see a bit of cloud as well. I do really like that airport. It's such a nice little small airport, but it's a challenge to get out of as well. Right, so Abby tab, let's bring up some charts that we need. So we are still a little bit off here. Now we do want to go that way there. Managed. Certainly managed speed as well. Why are we losing speed? Let's see a change in that trend there. Okay, speed is gaining. Positive arrow coming up. There it is. Okay, fine. Right, we can close that. We can certainly close that. And we can close that. Next thing we need is LEAL. Okay, we're runway 10. Fine there, and our approach today, runway 10. Victor Lima Charlie 3L. That is the Zulu. There's my VLC. 3 Lima. VLC 3 Lima, there it is. Okay, we're coming in from Valencia 3 Lima down here. Let's make this a bit bigger. To Vilna, and then, don't need that much. From Vilna, 20 DME arc, and then ILS in. Relatively straightforward. So platform 3,300 for the ILS. Minimums 412. Okay. And we will also just load up the airport 10.9, so we've got that for when we get there. So where do we want to be? We're landing runway 10, so we probably, if we can, Charlie 2, if not Charlie 4. Charlie 2 is a high speed taxi off, so that's what we're aiming for. Right, we've got those set up as we need them. Keep pressing the wrong button. Now it's just a case of enjoying some views. After flying that Boeing the other day, I'm so glad to be back in an Airbus. It feels like coming home. But it was interesting to try a Boeing. Right. Let us see what we've got going on at Alicante. 1014, cab okay, that's good, 23 degrees, nice and warm, and 090 at 13, so yeah, runway 10 definitely going to be good for us. Fact. LEAL. Scar Noodle, hello, how are you? Just coming from school, good, hope you had a good day. We are landing today with almost a bang-on headwind, so this we really shouldn't have any excuse. You unfortunately missed the redemption landing into La Rochelle. I haven't changed the title. I forgot about that. We've literally just left La Rochelle. Yeah, we landed there. It was a lot better than yesterday for sure. But yeah, no, where I'm streaming, I haven't changed the title. I completely forgot about that. So we are La Rochelle to Alicante at the moment. Look at that. Also, with that ex-enviro weather and the shadows and stuff on the ground, just looks awesome. Yeah, we've literally just left La Rochelle on our way to Alicante. I don't know, obviously where you've probably been at school, you may not have seen it, but I put a post up in Discord explaining what we're doing today. So I'll just recap over it. So if you're dragging it out, we are, where is it? Yeah. No, wrong one, that one. So we started today in Gatwick, flew to La Rochelle. We had a interesting landing there. I can't remember what the landing rate was. It was a good landing. We got it in. That was fine. Nothing to jump up and down about because of that length of that runway. But yeah, the screenshot on the Discord as well. That was a nice one. So yeah, we landed at Rochelle. We've just taken off in Rochelle. We're flying to Alicante. The plan is then from Alicante to Lisbon, and then from Lisbon to Madeira. From Madeira to Tenerife South, and then Tenerife South all the way back to London Heathrow. Now, I may consider the Tenerife South to London Heathrow in the Zebo, but we're doing Airbus hops from obviously we started in Gatwick down to the west coast of France. Now we're going down to the south east coast of Spain. From there we're going to go to the southwest coast of Portugal. Then from Portugal down to the I can't remember if it's Portuguese or Spanish island of Madeira. I think it's Portugal, home Madeira. And then we're going to go down to Tenerife South, which I know you were looking forward to, from Madeira, and yeah, then the long slug back to Heathrow. The plan was to do it in the British Airways 320, but I may consider doing it in the Zebra. Madeira is Portugal, yeah, and it's a nice approach. That's why I wanted to give it a go. A few people have done it lately, so I thought, we'll give it a go. The other thing is, look, I got my track IR working, and it is quite nice. It does make things a little bit different, especially for those visual landings that we're going to be doing, like Madeira. Being able to do this and this just by looking at the edges of my monitor, it's going to make those approaches a lot easier. But I've got it turned off, like, so it's not constantly moving about and making people watching the stream sick. So I can just turn it on and off just with a key press, which is quite nice. So I think that was money definitely well spent in that. Anyway, what did you get up to today? I know you said you've just got in from school. You're sort of permanently back on your sort of like aircraft maintenance school stuff at the moment, or is that sort of in the future sort of thing? Weather's coming in now, nice. We need to get way up there to 370. I've just completely lost my sort of sense of progression here. Today I worked on the main landing gear, replacing the whole wheel. We're not back to normal just yet, hopefully next week. Okay, well at least that's going progressing forward. Worked on the main landing gear, replacing the whole wheel. Is this of the aircraft you put a picture up of the other day, or is this on like Big 7 sort of the commercial stuff? Because your stuff it's all going to be sort of like smaller aircraft, is that right? Because you're doing it with, like with the military, if I remember, aren't you? So you're working on sort of like, yeah, the aircraft sent a picture of, yeah. How did that go anyway? Turboprop 7 seats, nice. Right, let's go to here. La Rochelle, can't even spell. LFBH 2. Alicante. Went really good, didn't get to finish today, but hopefully on Monday we'll be done. We have like these tasks that we need to do in order to graduate to that task. Okay. Sounds really good. I've said this before, I am incredibly jealous. I wish I could get on a program like that, but I'm way past my sell-by date for stuff like that, I'm afraid. And plus we don't really have those sort of opportunities over here. I just want to get up to cruise, and then I'll sort of have an idea of where our top of descent is, how far we've got to go. So top of descent is at Rhymes, AGN there, so we've got like a good while yet to our top of descent. Stick a quick, and there, so we've got that. Right, clear those so they're being auto-tuned. Don't need the manuals in there anymore. Come on, so slow. Clear the courses. That's fine. As long as they're all reset, which they are. Perfect. Okay, so they can go back to auto-tuning. Even though I'm going to be a mechanic in the electrical part, we still have mechanical tasks such as wheel change and wingtip, fuel tank off, and on an F-15 fighter jet. The F-5 fighter jet we have on our school actually wasn't used in the US, and when it had done its flying, they sent it to the US to us and then away to practice on. That is sick. I really wish that I could get on some sort of program like that. That is genuinely awesome, mate. Right, that's all looking good. Okay, right, we'll stick that on the performance there. That's smoothed out now. Everyone can just go stretch their legs. And fire quickly. Stick that to there. That will level out, and then we'll be at cruise. Yeah, no worries, mate. Yeah, see you in a bit. Right, let's have a quick look in this box. Let's put some information in, just so that if God forbid something happens, we've got something in there. Even though it may change, we will adapt it as we get closer, but certainly we can put some stuff in there. So right, the QNH at Alicante at the moment, 1014. Temperature there is a lovely 23 degrees. Winds are 09013. That's going to be quite a strong headwind since we're landing on runway 10. Transition on the charts is by ATC, maybe we've got it on this one, 6,000. And every time. Our minimums, we did this earlier, Cat C, ILS 412 on the Barrow. There we go, right, so we've got some information in there, should the worst happen. We've got the box ready to go. Not too far from top of climb here. And I'll tell you what I will do, just quickly. I did that, I think. Don't think we did it. I'm not actually sure if that's properly modelled in. If anyone knows if that is properly modelled yet, but obviously didn't take in when I clicked it on the ground. Okay, perfect there. Right, let's have a quick look around, shall we? Nothing to see that side. Nothing to see that side for sure. I missed the ortho. We've got some ortho coming in as soon as we get back to Alicante though. So, looking forward to that. Okay, right, yeah, it's just a case of chilling out now. Making sure it stays in the air when we want it to be, and gets on the ground when we need it to. Just a quick sip of a drink, excuse me. else tuning in the stream while I was gone? Well, I'm looking at the viewer count. It has been up and down. A couple of people have sort of said hello and stuff like that. But I think we were at 4 a minute ago, back down to 2 now. But I think there is a slight delay in that as well. So there's a few people here, but as per usual, you seem to be the only one that likes to have a chat, which is quite nice, especially when you're sort of in these cruise bits and there's not much to do. It's nice to have somebody to talk to. I think there's a couple of other big streamers streaming at the moment, so I don't think there's many people like stream surfing. I think, hang on, if I look on the old Twitch page, and you got like London Control. I don't know if he's still streaming, but he was doing a big sort of flight earlier. Yeah, there's a few people sort of streaming. I feel like London Controller's exploded views last month. He went absolutely crazy, yeah. Like, I mean, I started watching him when I sort of first started doing Vatsim, and yeah, I mean, he's streamed a good, like, he's got an audience there, and like to be fair, he's worked his arse off for it, and I think he deserves it. He's been very he's been in the community for a very long time as well. But I think he's where he started doing flights as well as the controlling, it's sort of picked up a bit of a wider audience, maybe. But yeah, like he's gone big time, which is nice because I think he's partner now as well. Yeah, he got partnered very recently. At this stage, I'd take affiliate. But actually, I've got an email from Twitch because, excuse me, every time you sort of do streams, you get an email afterwards which sort of gives you your stats. And no, it's not on that one. For my path to affiliates. Here we go, path to affiliate. So I need to reach 50 followers and I'm on 19. Then I need to average 3 viewers and I'm on 2. There's the top of climb. So I need to, it would be awesome if you got a sub button and emotes. I mean, I'd take the emotes, I don't expect people to sub, that's crazy. But path to affiliate, I need to reach 50 followers. And I need to up my average viewers to 3, and all the other categories I've done basically. But it takes your average over your whole length of your stream. So for example, today when I'm doing a long stream, if I've only got a few viewers, that will bring my average down. So that's sort of the trade-off really. So that's why I'm like, I'm just going to do my thing, and if people tune in, that's great and I'd really appreciate it. But if I sit here at this early stage, like being effectively a nobody, and start going, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, then that's kind of crazy. I was thinking about doing on my sort of this area here above, or certainly part of, having like a target for like to reach 50 followers. But I don't know if that's a bit dickish, if that makes sense. But or maybe put it somewhere here. But then I just thought, you know, the more stuff I have on here that's cluttered, that's just taking up the view of the actual stream. So I don't know. I think what I've got on here is probably maybe just enough, maybe a little bit too much. Because the one, to be honest, the one at the top could probably stay, and this one down the bottom could probably go. In fact, let's just do that while we've got some time. So the overlay theme. It's hard to say which one is which. It's that one, okay. Right, so if I get rid of that, that probably makes, I think that looks a bit better. Because it's just, I think it's just repeating the same information down the bottom that was at the top. It's hard to see because I've got such a small screen to preview it on. Subscriber, follower, donation, cheer, and that is exactly the same. Yeah. So we'll leave that one off. A follow goal would be great. Oh, maybe I'll stick one in. Let's have a look. Like a progress bar. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Let's have a look. I think you have to set it up in CloudBot. Which I've got, and that's done. No, okay, it's not there. Right. Do it on this one. Follow a goal, there we go. Right. Alright, I need to do it on here. Follow a goal, there it is. Do that. See, I've done now. Why can I not change that? That should be part of a theme, I think, which I've got. Let's leave it basic for now. I don't want to mess around too much in it. Right, so follow a goal. 15, 19. Let's say 30. You've got it American style. 20. Sorry, I know this isn't exactly very interesting for you. I'm trying to do it as quick as I can. So a little easier on the eye. Don't want it too crazy. Try that and start. Copy that. need to add it into here as a browser source. Goal bar. Something like that. That's the plan. Yeah, just something plain and simple. Like, and then I can mess around with it at a later date, but I don't want to go too mad with it too early on. Especially while I'm in the middle of a stream as well. I don't want it to start messing up. I'll play around with it at a later date, but it's something on there for now, isn't it? Is it too big? Does it need to be made smaller, or is that sort of about right? It can probably be condensed a bit, can't it? Does that make it smaller, or does that just compress it? That's a bit better, isn't it? Yeah, it's not too big then. Yeah, we'll leave it like that. I just didn't want it to be too long across the bottom. And I think that suits better than the other sort of big box that was there, because I think the template was, that box was for if you have like your camera on and you use the space above to sort of green screen your face sort of into it, but not yet. All mountains, standard. Yeah, that'll do for now. There's loads of stuff on here. You can do like, that's all fine. Don't need that. I think, yeah, a lot of this stuff is for if you're like a little bit bigger, but that's good for now. Just waiting for some ortho to come in. Right, let's see where we are. So we're way over halfway now. We are just crossing over into Spain, the border of Spain now. The entering Spanish air control. They were online, but they are not. The blue, I think, looks tidy with the same as the sort of like the progress bar at the top, because it was bright green when I first loaded it up and I was like, oh hell no. So about 160 miles from top of the sun. Now if we look at our charts for this, on our arrival, we need to be flight level 100 at Valencia. let's make sure that is in here. Top of descent, task planner, a VLC. See, oh look, flight level 247, that's no good, is it? And then we're doing the 3 Lima to flight level 80 down from there. It's got us at the limit of flight level 100 to Vilna. Be at flight level 93. See here, look, flight level 80 down to Vilna and then VLC. So let's change this to flight level 100. See, look, there is a 250 100. Flight level 100 is in straight. Turn. And then Vilna. Right, level 80. Can I just ask where you've learned everything about X-plane and planes in general? It's interesting to know where people learn that kind of stuff. I'm lucky because I learned at school. Self-taught, trial and error, YouTube and other streamers. Generally, that is exactly where I've done it, just trial and error myself, and learning from sort of other people that are streaming really. Sorry, and then as we intercept 5,900 on the arc, and then it will be, there it is, D280S. Charlie 10 yeah, so that now looks more accurate. It's changed our top of descent to bring it a little bit closer because obviously we needed to be at that VLC, but this is why you always check your charts, because as well the other thing is you missed earlier when we did our approach into La Rochelle, the star in the Toliss was nothing like it was in the on the charts, so I had to basically manually fly the star off of a radial and a beacon, because it was putting the waypoints it loaded from the star in the wrong places, so it was doing like figure of 8s around waypoints and stuff like that, and I generally set it up properly in the box. It was just the star hadn't translated properly into the Toliss, and I've noticed that even here it's restrictions are not necessarily always been put in and stuff like that, so I always double triple check, but I think that's a known bug anyway and it's been addressed in the data that's coming out. But yeah, it's definitely why I always check this. But yeah, in terms of everything I've learned, mate, it's trial and error. Did I hand fire the departure? I did hand fire the departure out of LFBH, yeah. It's at 1,580, right hand turn, and then track. I can't remember, but I did do the hand fly out, and then tracked out. Right, so that's looking good. Top of descent is now only 80 miles away. What I'm going to do is actually just flick through this with a plan and check my constraints. So there's VLC with a flight level 100 restriction in there now. And that puts our limit before that, so that's perfect. So that's exactly what I wanted. VLC, Vilna at 8,000, which is exactly what we wanted, and then 5,900 to be above on that arc, which is exactly what we wanted. Wrong way, sorry. Which we can see here now, and then we intercept the platform Charlie India 10 Zulu. And then final approach fix 100 3300. So 5900, 4200. Here we go. 5900, 4200, 3300, 59, 42, 33. That's now. I'm happy with that. Not going to get any nasty surprises. So yeah, I've changed the text area. It says commands are !route, because yesterday it started with !route. So every time it put that timer out, it would always put the route out underneath it as well. So I remembered to change that, so that's not annoying. And yes, that is now working. So we've just passed Posse on that route, so we're now going direct to, I can't pronounce that, Ximpe, so Zimpe I'm going to go with, because you used to pronounce xylophone with an X, so Zimpe maybe. And then as we approach Zimpe, that'll be our top of our 7. So we are going to clear ourselves down to our 3,300, just because we're on Unicom. And that is our platform, so we'll then do a manage descent all the way down to 3,300. Then we'll know that everything's good there. We'll put seatbelts on shortly, probably around 10,000 feet-ish. No, we'll do it for the beginning of the descent. And yeah, it's all going well so far. One thing I completely want to know is how much so far. Oh, okay, it's going to be, I reckon, close to 4 by the time we land. Yeah. And then we're going to have Alicante to Lisbon. Madness. I don't really think I ever asked you this, but what is your favourite Airbus in the sim? I'm guessing so. Do you know what? It's difficult, because every single one of them has got positives and negatives. The 319 by Toliss, the Flight Factor A320 and the 321 by Toliss. I own all 3. And the current state, because bear in mind Toliss are about to release updates for both the 319 and the 321. They're currently in the private beta testing at the moment, so it won't be long until they're public released. So they will fix a lot of the problems, but right now as they stand, the Toliss flies, this is my opinion, bear in mind I'm not a real pilot, but based on sort of what I've found and what other people have said, the Toliss flies flight model is more accurate, but the FMC and stuff like that lacks detail. Like you can't do the fix info page in here. A lot of it isn't model. It's very basic, but it's enough. The Flight Factor A320 is more in depth with the box and the systems, and it flies more accurately to the box and the logic. But apparently the flight model isn't as good. But with the mods on there, like the texturing mods, that's probably the best textured and looking aircraft on there. And the 321, that's got more box compatibility, and it's a different sort of beast to fly. But the outside modelling lacks what the other models offer. So, and yeah, the Toliss FMC update, which is, and the people that beta test at the moment said it is pretty good. So this is what I'm saying. Once they release the update for the 319 and 321, it's probably going to bring a lot of it level pegging. But I will still fly my flight factor A320. The Toliss 319 I really like, and the 321 I haven't got that. I haven't taken it out as much as I should really. I need to fly that more. But they've all got positives and negatives, and it's really difficult to say because at the moment the beta release is going to change a lot of that. So it's a really difficult one to say. And I know that's not much of an answer, but in terms of just my gut favourite, is between the 19 and the 20 at the moment. I think I'd fly both of them equally, but I think I just need to fly the 321 more. Yeah, the look of it is nice. You know what? We'll do Alicante to Lisbon. We'll do in the 321. Because I'm going to fly the 319 into La Palma, sorry, not La Palma, Madeira, and then maybe we'll do the 320 into Tenerife, and if not, we'll do the 320 back to Heathrow. I'm going to try and do. Yeah, I'm going to try and split it around, because obviously I don't think I'm going to be able to do all of the flights today, so it'll probably be half today and half tomorrow. And it may, if you've got to go, you've got to go. You know, don't feel like you have to stay hanging around for the landing if you've got stuff to do, my friend. Like, say we're going to be at least, well, we're only at top of descent now. But if you can stick around, great, obviously. But you know, you got to go, you got to go. I'll try and spread it out, or maybe even do one a little bit later, because I'm probably after this flight going to stop for a bit of food and that anyway. So it'll either be after this I'm going to have a quick break, get some food, and then I might do another flight sort of in a few hours, or like late afternoon, early evening, and go from there. Alicante to Lisbon should be fairly short, and then Lisbon to Madeira. I keep saying, yeah, Madeira. Because it's LPMA, I just see La Palma, and it's not, it's Madeira. And then from Madeira to, so maybe tonight, this afternoon, sorry, yeah, tonight, late this afternoon, early evening, we'll do Alicante to Lisbon, Lisbon to Madeira, and then tomorrow we'll do Madeira to Tenerife south, and then Tenerife south to Heathrow. Yeah, mate. At the end of the day, you've got a life to live. So you know, if you've made promises, you've got commitments, you've got to do them. Just initiate the descent here, so we're not behind it. We'll have a quick look on that spy. Make sure anybody hasn't come online controller wise. I don't think they have. That spy's running really slow. Yeah, no, there's nobody on there. So yeah, at the end of the day, you know, you've got to do what you've got to do, my friends. I do genuinely appreciate you being here, and if you're here, then you know it's great. But as I said, you know, don't feel obliged if you've got a life to go and live. Right, so let's start running our descent. Seatbelts are on, anti-ice is off, land information received, why not? Barrow ref standard, and that will be at the meta of 1014. Let's just put that in the box. We did it earlier, but let's just make sure nothing has changed. There's the go around face, don't want that. So 1014, temperature is still 23, winds 090 at 13. and everything else is the same, so our approach is still fine. Descent prep flow completed. We should probably put this into tilt below. And then the rest of it is at 10,000 feet. I really want to download the last tabs on it for the southern part of Norway, but I currently have 98 gigabytes left, and that'll probably be like 20 gig in ortho. Worst comes to worst, I'll just have to delete them, so I guess download delay. Can you not even, have you not got like an external drive you can sort of just store them on temporarily, so that if you need space on your PC or something, you haven't got to keep like re-downloading them, you can just drag them off of a drive and put them on. So at least once you've downloaded them, you've got them, you haven't got to re-download them at a later date. I'm trying to think if there's even a better way of doing it. Yeah, I mean, my scenery, I looked at this the other day, right? I've got a dedicated M2 card, 1 terabyte M2 card. I've got 80 gigabytes left. I lost a little bit on the lottery. It's only got a capacity of 931 gig, so I lost 70 gig of availability on the SS2 anyway. But yeah, so I've basically got 860 gigabytes of custom scenery at the moment. That does include like meshes, airports, orthos, everything. Everything custom scenery. That's how much I've got at the moment. So I've only got 8 gig free myself, so I need to have a little tidy up in there as well. Some of the ortho tiles I may not need. And some of the airports I don't fly to all the time maybe can go. You don't at the moment, but I could buy a USB memory stick or something. Well, I'm just thinking, like, just an external like hard drive. If you can get like a 500 gigabyte hard drive or something, and then you can just store scenery on it. I wouldn't necessarily run with your scenery on an external drive. I would get an internal drive to run your flights in, because you just run the risk of freezes and crashes and stuff like that. But it's certainly a place to store it, so that if you need to chop and change your scenery around, then it's sort of there, and you haven't got to like, because it takes, I mean, you know, how depending on your internet connection, how long it takes to download all that ortho. It's a pain in the arse if you have to delete it and then re-download it to install it at a later date. It's not essential at all, but just thinking if you had a spare drive to store it on, save you a bit of time in the future maybe. Yeah, if it's just for storage, like as I said, like you don't need to get like a super duper fast expensive one, because I think even the fastest ones I wouldn't run them as a scenery. You just need something for storage. So the standard USB 3.0 storage hard drive, then you've got it on there. So that at least then once you download orthos, you could effectively download all of Norway, store it on the drive. You'd have to remember what tiles are which, obviously, because you need to leave them named as they are. I suppose technically you could rename them. You just have to change your INI file, it'll get updated. Download them all, you've got it on a drive, and then say if you're doing flights around like south of Norway, you could maybe divide it up into quadrants, like north, east, south, west, and then stick them on to what sort of area you're doing. And that's where something like that X Organizer app would be quite useful, because as you drop and drag your orthos in and out, just run X Organizer and it'll delete the ones that aren't there anymore and re-add the ones that are, and then you can just jump straight in and manages your INI file automatically. And then, as you said, you've got the scenery there. Get the size of hard drive that you need, And then in the future, depending on what your rig setup is, maybe get like another internal drive, or an M2 SSD is always going to be the best option because it's just the fastest. And I say that's what all my custom scenery is on, an M2 SSD closest to the CPU, and then the GPU closest to that. And then I've got an SSD which runs my operating system and X-Plane. And then I've got a mechanical hard drive, which is like my backup drive, where I just store everything. Nothing runs off of that. It's just a storage drive where everything's backed up, which is useful for when the other day I had to, the other week now, when I had to completely restart my or rebuild my Windows and simulator, so everything was backed up there and just reinstalled. That's the setup I use. So in the future, if you've got that sort of hard drive there, you can just plug it in when you need it and drag the scenery off as and when. That's certainly the way I'd look at it. For then in the future, you can get a bigger internal drive and put it on there more permanently. Right, so we're approaching the VLC with our 10,000 there. So we've got 50 miles to lose 15,000 feet. Pretty much on that magenta donut there. You can see that with the Airbus. Okay, that's what I said to you yesterday. We'll talk about the Airbus logic for the descent. Right. Should have done this before. So this is obviously your descent knob, right? You rotate to, we're at cruise altitude 37,000 feet, and I'd want to clear myself down to 3,300 feet, as that is the intercept. It's the lowest point I want the aircraft to go down to. In reality, you'd be given clearances by ATC, but there's nothing about. So I'm just going to clear myself down to the lowest point, which is 3,300. Okay, that makes sense. Now I've got two options. I can one dot at the top of this to push the knob in. If I go to the bottom, I've got two dots to pull it out. So I can push the knob in or pull the knob out. If I push it in, I get that one dot. And the way to remember that one dot is you get a dot next to the altitude number you put in. So one dot push, one dot. The aircraft is now in managed descent mode. Okay, so I'm flying this flight path plan, and within that, the next waypoint here, Tatos, it's calculated it's going to be at 281 knots and flight level 187. And then Plana, the next waypoint after that, it's calculated it's going to be 282 knots, flight level 167. And then we're going to hit this speed restriction, which is this magenta dot here, and it's going to drop down to 250 knots there, and it will be going for flight level 100. By the time we reach VLC, you see here we're 249 knots and flight level 99. That it's pushing it in. It's going to follow this prediction here. Okay, so by VLC we'll be at, and that's when you'll get like drag required or something like that if we're not following it down. So press is FMC based descent and pull is open descending based on the speed. Loosely, yes. If I then say pulled this, we'd go into open descent, and it will, based on the speed, will take you down. So then you manage the speed and stuff like that. So that's the shortest way of explaining it. That's the way that the Airbus logic works, and I think that's different to Boeing, and that's why I'm sort of struggling to understand their sort of VNAV and stuff like that. But then you see the speed and the headings are dashes and dots, so they're all in managed mode. The dot is a managed mode, so the speed is being managed by the FMC and the heading is being managed by the FMC. If I pull these, they'll go into sort of like not open mode, but sort of like nav mode and heading mode, speed like manual or managed. So if I want to set a speed, I would pull this, and I'd get that. Now it's 263. I'll push it back into managed. If I want to pull ahead, so say, I don't know, I'm cruising down here, and ATC come in and they go easy 89 from 195, turn right heading 230. I would then just pull that, and then I would turn the dial to the right. I'm just going to push that so it's managed. I don't want the vertical speed, I want managed. I would then turn that to the right, and 230, and the aircraft will then go off 230. And they go, okay, right, yeah, reduce speed, blah blah blah. Pull it, reduce speed, or increase speed, whatever. The open descent will take you down. You've also got the vertical speed, so you can do vertical speed, which I think is the same. And then you've also got track and FPA. FPA I really like, so you have like degrees. So say you're flying like an RNAV, so the glide slope is 3 degrees. I could then change this to 3 degrees, and it's a bit like a vertical speed. So instead of being at like, I don't know, 1100 feet per minute, I would say, right, do a 3 degree descent path, and it will descend at 3 degrees and stuff like that. It's a little bit difficult to explain it without sort of actually doing it and showing it as well, but you sort of get it by the sounds of it. We're loading scenery in here because we are stuttering, which means ortho is a coming. And I know I've got Payware Alicante Airport, and that's frame heavy. But yeah, I hope that makes sense. I'll stick the terrain on the FOs because it is terrainy around here, especially around the airport. So again, you can see here as well, when you're doing a managed descent, this little magenta donut here, you see it's bang on that line, which means we are bang on exactly where the aircraft wants us to be for its managed descent. If it was down here, we're obviously above it because the dot is below us, so the glide slope is below us. So we need to bring the aircraft down, so you then, drag required, drop some speed or whatever. And again, if we're above it, if that magenta dot is above us, means that the glide slope is above us. So we then need to slow our descent rate to re-intercept it. And I think I spoke about this speed here. This top bar here and this lower bar here is the speed band that the aircraft can work in to stay within its descent path. And these two little equal signs here is exactly where it wants the speed to be. That's its optimum speed. But as long as it's within those, that's fine. And as long as you're sort of 1 or 2, sort of what would be diamonds, even though they're not here yet, within that it's easy enough to quite quickly correct your descent path. So that's why when you're doing a managed descent, you need to keep an eye on that, because then you know that you're going to hit all of your waypoint restrictions, speed restrictions and stuff like that. And you can see down here at the bottom, flight level 100, it knows its next restriction is flight level 100, and it's working towards that. And then you'll see that change to flight level 80 once we pass VLC, as we then track towards Vilna. And then it's got a speed restriction there of 220 knots. So again, just keeping an eye on this, managing it. And you can also see what modes the aircraft are in here. There's your thrust descent, what sort of vertical path we're on, and what sort of lateral path we're on. So we're in nav mode, managed mode, descent managed, and speed managed. I think comes some ortho. No, it's not ortho, it's just standard and it's just scenery heavy. That's what it was, all that down there. And the ortho's there. You can see the tile edge. Right, so as we approach 10,000 feet, we'll arm our landing system. And what is our frequency? 113.8 ALT. And we've got 110.3. Oh no, that's the beacon. The actual ILS frequency is 110.3 IAT. So we know that the ILS has been auto-tuned correctly. Again, that's what I like about the Airbus. With the Boeing, I don't have to do. Sorry, with the Airbus, I don't have to do that. With the Boeing, I did. I know that that's correct. See, we've hit this decel point now. So the aircraft pitch nose up, and as we hit 10,000 feet, bang on. 250 knots, 10,000 feet, we've met our restriction. So the aircraft is doing a pretty good job of managing itself. Put the landing lights on now. Okay, so approach checklist briefing confirmed. We've been through our approach. Ecam stats checked. Normal. Seatbelts. They're on. Barrel ref set. And it will be 1014 for the arrival. And that is at 6,000 feet. Yes, 6,000 feet, 1014. Minimums 412, got that set in the box. Engine mode selector will be a normal. Tax 12 degrees, so we haven't got to worry about anti-ice. Approach checklist complete. So I think Vilna is the end of our star. That's the airport chart. So we've just entered our star. Valencia towards Vilna. So Vilna is the end of our star, and where we will enter our 20 demi arc. It looks like there's one aircraft on approaching to. Oh no, it's just left Alicante. I'm in. They're departing. I haven't got to worry about any major traffic at the moment. See, we are struggling with this weather. This you can see they've got the ortho down there and everything. It looks awesome, but it's really killing my FPS. I think I'm going to have to just drop that for now, just to try and give it a bit of a helping hand. Wrong sides. It's not even ortho yet. It's just the weather. It's crazy. Why? Ah, yeah, X-Enviro needs reloading because I've changed the. See, look at the difference. Look, 60 frames per second about that weather. 65 to 60. The weather comes in and the frames. Bye bye. The aircraft may suddenly jiggle about as the air pressure changes. Okay, so it's quite a slow descent here to be 8,000 feet. At Vilna. And then down from 8,000 to 5,9. A nice easy descent. Okay, so when we land on runway 10, allegedly at the moment, we are going to get an absolute 14 knot stonking bang on headwind. Apparently wind is now 114 allegedly. Temp is 23, QNH is still 1014. So we can go. Auto brakes low for this for sure. Maybe even, we'll keep low on. We may not even need auto brakes, but we got them. It's because I will not remember otherwise. You can see the aircraft's running at, it's pretty much its slowest speed here. It's probably what, 230, yeah, 230 knots. Because it's got such a distance to lose 1,000 feet. You know, it could be up here, but there's no point accelerating to 250 to then slow down again. It's running at cost index 5, so it's just not economical to do that. So it will stay at that sort of speed and maintain it. There's the ortho. That FPS hit just for this is crazy. It's like 50% loss of FPS just for X-Enviro. I'm looking forward to X-Enviro 1.14, and then obviously as well, eventually, X-Plane 11.5. Once that's stable, I'm not even going to mess around with the beta because we can feel this turbulence now. Screenshot. Headphone users beware, I'm going to jump outside. Screenshot. waiting game now. So this is why I just love all this sort of visual eye candy. I keep forgetting it actually does what my head does. Let's turn it off for now. So does do you sort of know anybody else in real life that sort of does flight sim stuff as well? I've got a friend that just bought X-Plane. I'm trying to teach him the Zevo. Oh, that's good. It's good when you've got somebody else like that, especially if you've got you can actually sit with them and do it. That's kind of nice. Really likes to do unrealistic stuff and crash the plane. Well, I think you've got to let people get that out of their system, get used to it, and then they'll find the bug for trying to fly it properly. If you just teach him how to get it off the ground, let him do his thing, and then I'm sure he'll come around and be like, oh, how do I do this? How do I do that? Once that sort of novelty has worn off, if that makes sense. Right, so we're approaching the end of our star. I'm going to activate and confirm the approach phase. I'm just going to manage the speed. I'm going to keep it at 230. Stay there. 220 knots is where we want to be there actually, so we'll bring it down to 220. We'll manage the speed to 220. And then we're fine there. On the approach phase. No, we can't do that yet. Let's wait to the end of the star. We did some short hops in the Cessna together on Vatsim, uncontrolled of course because it was VFR. Do you know what? I've not done VFR with ATC to be honest. I think it's literally just you fly VFR rules, and they'll sort of give you certain restrictions and stuff, and you just abide by them. But certainly you won't get VFR out of like Heathrow or anything like that. Okay, so what we're doing here is like this is the DME 20. DME arc that we're doing. This is what the aircraft's computed. We'll see how accurate it is. 20.3, 20.2-ish. We want to stay around that figure, 20 DME. With that, we'll go back to manage speed, let it do its descent properly. We're going to definitely need to drop some speed to get around here. We'll drop flaps 1. You can see we're flying that arc nicely now. Flaps 2. And I'm going to hold 180 knots. That's good for now. I don't want to go too much slower There's the airport just over there. You can see the lights coming through. Okay, on approach. Localizer still hasn't come alive yet. Maybe we are just a bit too far out. Still holding that 20 DME quite nicely, look. With the Airbus, I'm not sure if it's the same across other aircraft, but what most people tend to say is 180 knots, flaps 2, for your final approach fix, or 180 knots, flaps 2, 2,000 feet above airport elevation. From there, you're pretty stable. So that's why I don't want to slow down too much here, because otherwise we'll really slow down our approach. That's nice. We've got a restriction here anyway to be above 5.9, above 4.2, above 5.3. Right, so I can arm the approach phase now for sure. Go autopilot 2. It'll probably come off, but just so we've got it. Right, 6,000 feet, 1014. Holding out for dropping gear at the moment. Hmm, 185, okay. I'll do my best. Okay, right, localizer captured. 2,500 check. Okay, 18 degrees on the tail. Okay. On final, let's drop gear. Established on the localizer. Waiting for the glide slope to come in. Gear down, 3 green. Spots on. Go set for landing. And we will go manage speed. Glide slope captured. 3,300 is the start of the glide slope, so pretty much we expect the nose to dip very shortly. Just to help with that, I'm going to do flaps 3 now, because prepare for the balloon. And then we'll get another balloon at flaps 4. So if I can do that sort of now, it takes the edge off of that. And flaps full. Okay. What is our missed approach altitude? 4,000. 4,000 set. Landing checklist, cabin. Checked. Auto thrust, speed. Manage speeds. Go around altitude 4,000 set. ECAM memo. Landing no blue. And checklist complete.
2,000.
Excuse me. So it's a headwind, very slightly on the nose. And it is quartering. You can see it's just shifting across the nose, not dramatically, but about a 10-degree variable. 115 varying. God, that's quite a bit. It's like 30-degree variable. You can feel the aircraft having to counteract that just to stay on the localizer. So I'll let the autopilot bring it in a bit further. Checked. It's quite a strong headwind. 12 knots at the moment. Knots. Well, I can tell you now this is not going to be anywhere near a butter, but we'll take it. Bear in mind, this screen reading that comes up on the screen here is not correct. It'll be the one that comes up in chat. That's the accurate one. Right. Minimums. My aircraft. Wow, we're already getting high. Oh, that wind, man. Bring it down, bring it down, bring it down. $70 knots, manual brakes. 40 knots. Now we're on to high speed, Charlie 2, like we wanted. Look at that scenery. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Alicante. Just bring ourselves off the runway and then we will prepare. Okay, right. Runway turn offs on, landing lights off. Taxi, strobe lights, they can come off. Seatbelts can stay on. Terrain off. Weather off. Spoilers disarmed, flaps up and retracted. APU start. Landing systems off. Right. Let's have a look at our airport chart. Where do we want to go? We'll just take. We'll go Delta. Oh no, tell you what. We'll go Charlie 1, and we'll take a stand over there. Wrong one again. Okay. Minus 240 feet per minute, 97 knots, G-force of 1G. We will take that, ladies and gentlemen. For sure. Nice landing, thank you very much. We got, see what I mean, we got a butter on the on-screen reading, and I think it was like 95 feet per minute. But the actual real landing is minus 240. Like, I'm really not sure. A 97 knots, G-force of 1G. Like, the butter one was definitely wrong for sure. 240 feet per minute. Probably sounds a bit right. So this is what I mean, there is a massive variable. I do love this airport scenery. And this track IR makes taxiing lovely. Right, should we take standard C3, shall we? Okay, park brake set. I didn't do the APU start. The APU thing. While we're waiting for that to warm up, let's just have a quick look at the outside position. Oh, look at that. On the money. That is why Track IR is worth its weight in gold. Could not make it up. Right. Taxi lights, you can come off. APU is firing up. We're nearly there. Brake fans. Oh. Okay. Parking checklist. APU bleed is off. Yellow petrol electric pump is off. Engines nearly off. APU available. Off. Engine 1 off. Power transfer. Engine 2 off. Here comes the stand. Make sure external power is available, and seatbelts off, beacon off, transponder to standby. And now I will leave the doors closed for the replay for sure. There we go, welcome to Alicante. This absolutely beautiful airport scenery. We'll have a quick look. And then we will definitely do some replays. I want to see for sure what that was. That track I think is so handy, isn't it now, right? For the landing, yes. And the taxiing, yes. I mean, that like that taxi position, I would never have been able to do with that track IR. Like just to bring it round and see it on and get it perfectly lined up. You just don't get that. So here we are, Alicante, ortho scenery. The airport itself, I think, is very, very nice. And having been here, it does look exactly like this. It is very nice. But yeah, we'll have a look at some views on the way in. Right, let us complete the flight there so we don't get numerous things. Landing report for that. Okay, view reports. Negative 240 feet per minute. Touchdown of 1G, speed of 118 knots, and stuff like that. So if I now complete my flight on the Vatsim network, disconnect. Now if I press pause, that is what the landing rate plugin said. So it said negative 95 feet per minute, 0.93 G, good flare, and a butter landing. Now we look at my actual landing report, negative 240 feet per minute, so it's 145 feet difference. 1G touchdown, it's near as little as makes no difference. Nose 1.48 degrees, or negative 1.48. I've got pitch of negative 1.1. We did have a 7-second float, but that's why I'm not sure of the difference. So bear that in mind when we have a look at this replay. We'll see which one is actually accurate. Here we go, we got gear down here, quite a way off. I've got to remember the time because we're fast forwarding through this. 4:22 and let's call it 30 seconds here. What point do I take? Here we go. So I've got manual control from this point here. So this is all me. 45 seconds. Looked like a good landing, thank you. I don't think it was that bad. Certainly had worse, as you've seen. Yeah, there's a slight float, but that touchdown was pretty damn good. The other thing, do you remember in like the flight factor we had the ailerons, they flip up on nose down to access an additional spoiler, that's not modelled here. That's the other thing about the 319. How about that for a view? On the centre line as well. Look at that. Money, money, money. Jet, I'm hoping for 80PL. Scott Noodle, I've got to go now. Break down in the stream. I'll see you later. Yeah, definitely. Thanks for stopping by. Really do appreciate it. Have fun on your trip out, and yeah, hopefully see you a little bit later. As I say, easy jet. I'm hoping for 80PL. There's the touchdown zone just after nose. It's so hard to tell that landing rate though, but still. And there we go. I think we'll just do, I've got one more. Do one from this view. I do like this view. Such a nice shot
100.
on that scenery.
50, 40, 30. Retard. 10, 5.
Sorry, I'm going to do one more. I know I said that was it, but we are, Alicante. Happy with that. I'm certainly had worse landings and that was acceptable, I think. So, Sky Noodle, I think you've probably gone now, but if you're here, thanks for stopping by. For the other people that are in the stream as well, I've seen a few people popping in and out, thanks for sticking by. So we made it from Gatwick to La Rochelle to Alicante. Next flight is going to be Alicante to Lisbon. and then from Lisbon down to Madeira. So we're going to end this stream here, have a bit of a break, and we'll come back maybe late afternoon, early evening, and we'll whack out those other 2 flights. So yeah, we're not going to go through the shutdown checklist because we've done that sort of earlier, and we're going to shut it down here. But for those here, thanks for sticking by. Please do hit the follow button. Be notified of my stream a little bit later on today. It would be appreciated, and we are going to try and get that follow go up to 50 as well this month. So if you wouldn't mind hitting that follow button, it would be greatly appreciated, and also you'll get notified of the stream later today. So yeah, thanks for sticking by, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one.